How's this next heat? Yago Dora, who's dangerous in the basins around the world. He takes on Cole Houshmand into his second year on tour from San Clemente, California. And also Samuka Samuel Pupo, the younger brother of Miguel, from your standard shortboards or from those hi-fi models as well. Challenger Series champ getting started. Samuel Pupo, really creative to start, using a lot of the wave with a ton of variety. It's exactly how you want to be zipping down the line. Really looks comfortable in the barrel. Doesn't look like he's rushing or nervous about falling. Snapping over that whitewatery section, wrapping down carve back into a climb. If you blink, you're going to miss a turn. Pushing himself onto the lip, but too deep for the last barrel of the wave. Will stop his opening ride. But yeah, nice cool time of the year. Easy to be outside this time of year in Abu Dhabi. 4.67 start for Samuel Pupo. And now we're getting to see Cole Houshmand. 6'3", 225 pounds. Punch to slide on that last turn. Hanging with the fins out the back. And put himself in a position to pull right into the pit. Getting real low. The big guy's got to be real flexible in transition in the tube. We saw Connor O'Leary do that really well this morning. A lot of gigantic goofy footers on tour these days. A little bit out in front of the end section pit, and he'll just force the snap right there and come down with the lip over the roof. And you see these guys just trading places. The idea of the qualifying round is you're not going to have to go back to back with your waves. You can take a break, reset before you head the other direction.
Yeah, that was great surfing from Cole. Very sure-footed, know exactly what he needs to do. Unfortunately for him, that end bit just got a little bit in front of that barrel and then sticky on that last turn. But look at this. This is what I'm talking about. Like, just sure-footed, no wobbles, just know exactly what he needs to do. Nice tube right in there for him. Comes out and once again just starts throwing hammers. A lot of water moving. Getting the fins released right there. Once again, push it even harder. And this is where the trouble comes a little bit. Like, he overruns the wave a little bit, get in front of that barrel, and then once he comes out, that wave kind of bottoms out, doesn't give him the transition he was probably hoping for, and then gets a bit sticky. But finish it off pretty strong. Like, that was a solid wave for him. As you see it right there, he's also a massive guy. Like, he's what, 6'3", 6'4". So for him to fit in that little last barrel is very tricky. As he comes out, he's gonna kind of low line it to get that good bottom turn, but the wave's super hollow, so he catches a little bit of the inside rail and gets a little bit stuck on that last turn. But the damage was done before. If he would have cleaned that up on the end, he would have been getting a very good score.
4.67, 5.67 on the board for Sammy, and then Cole leading the charge so far. Yago starts with his backhand. Moving down the line, part of the Matt Biola squad. Back-to-back champions in the Shaper rankings, as taps it off the lip. Forward momentum down the line. Cool top-to-bottom surfing, pushing a bit harder on that point. Nice flow, always finesse with his style. And let's look what he's got for us. Throwing down the backhand rotator, but he ends up incomplete. Packing your bags for Portugal as we see this one. Samuel Pupo already has made a CT final. And that was in his home country of Brazil, moving quickly down the line. He's got a lot of boards, a bit shorter, 5'9" range, as he is really trying to slow down for the barrel here. Keeping him a little bit out in front. Pushing that carve, another solid jam in the pocket for Samuel. Lighting up this section early. Getting ultra low to go the distance, makes it out, and now winding up for a snap. Second bonus turn for Samuel to finish off his first left of the day.
Let's see what we've got here. Surfer about to make the most of it. Let's go, Cole.
Picking up the big guy, Houshmand. First turn from him. The backhand absolutely deadly. And he'll just build up momentum. The third one even more on it. good rhythm to this. And he just leans in and winds in, gives it full treatment. A little bit more airdrop as he just hangs that one up and then rakes that rail line down through. So full power approach so far. Giving it multiple rapid fire quick hits. Tries to get some viz with the pig dog. Doesn't get completely buried by that, but good enough to apply a little bit of back foot pressure. It's just such a well-rounded surfer in terms of his skill set, what he's able to do, and just surprise you by being ultra polished but radical at the same time. Here's his lefts as he gets in motion and into the swing of things. Dora feeding things out in this opening section. The time on the rail, time into the lip as well, with really nice rhythm and flow into the tube section, and looks for cover, and he'll stay just poised and coiled. Also pretty tall human. He gets that big frame down, does it well, and then up for a roof ride, then really nice turn as he just releases on that rail from the snap. A little slide in the pocket. Now again he'll go blistering speed, and a big section for a ramp, almost over rotated it so well. And then he'll get a nice turn to finish as well. So we talked about top scores in the left. That's why Flick is pretty good.
He's really good, and it's super smart, right? You know, you look at the scores that have been thrown down so far, just being able to have that confidence and back yourself on that last section and be like, I'm just going to avoid this barrel. I'm going to go put it all on the line. I'm going to the air. That takes a lot of guts, so let's have a look. This is the beginning of the wave. You know, we've got this slopier section, and I mean, Yago just going to town. He sets up this barrel here. Probably doesn't get as deep as what he would have liked to, but I mean, there was so much damage done in this steeper part of the wave. Really critical surfing this turn here, that nose going right back to that foam, just demonstrating how critical that is. Gets a bit of flare on the fins. But this is what impressed me, just avoiding this barrel section, going to the air and backing yourself to do that. Now he's put a point of difference on the board, and I'd say probably going to separate himself a little bit from these other two surfers. I mean, so impressive to be able to lay the board on rail and to also point the nose of the board right around back to that foam. This wave's such a fast-moving wave, so to be able to do that just, you know, demonstrates great speed that Yago has, and just a great read for the wave as well.
Super dynamic. He's always had that really light touch. He's got that languid style, looks super light on his feet, cat-like in his reflexes, his responses, and just creativity as well by mixing up the line, just sort of changing the amount of time that he spends on each rail just to make everything look different. From Mitch Cruz, we had a little chat with Kuiper, but also just leading up this one, he's been talking about some of the differences they've made to the wave, and it's that second tube section that he said just a little bit more of a bowl. You could use that as a launch bowl, and if you do that, you can get great numbers. Just what we saw from Yago. Meanwhile, here we go. Pupo, Samuel, rapping on a rail. And again, he'll set himself up here, look, find some cover. This has got hollower and hollower throughout the morning. This tube section on the right. He's pretty patient in there. And then he'll just pop one and reverse it round, and then just gathering the speed up again to do more damage. He's got some unfinished business on the end section of this wave. He'll duck for cover here, come out. What's he got to finish with? Real nice drifty approach to that air on the ends, but won't be a completion.
Yeah, I feel the same way as what Miguel is right now. That was pretty upsetting. I loved how he put it all on the line in that middle section of the wave. It just makes everything so much more critical. He's going to be feeling that, because if he just finished that wave, I feel like he was going to be keeping at pace there with Yago a bit. It had all the right feeling to it. And yeah, he's just surfing with great speed, and I love the creativity midway through that wave.
I think we've just seen a little bit of a theme with surfers as they do try and get barrel on that second section and then do an air when they come out. Hasn't always been successful. It's really just using it as that launch ramp seems to be a more successful approach.
Kind of one or the other, right? And let's watch this. Let's have a look at this wave. So comes out of the barrel here, gets creative, launches, releases the fins, and I really love that in a different part of the wave where we don't usually see that sort of maneuver. And then here, this is what you're talking about, Paul. I guess, like, obviously it's kind of one or the other here. You're going for the barrel, you're going for sort of that air, and he did come unstuck. It's just so bowly. So let's see, he launches here, gets that rotation, tail's pretty high, and then he does hit, this is the one in the middle, sorry, but we'll get back to the one on the inside. So you can see that front foot just launching just so far up the nose of the board. So just that timing maybe a little bit off.
As we go throughout this 7th heat of our qualifying round, here comes the wave 4. The big, powerful, strapping goofy out of San Clemente, California. Getting into it with some sparky stuff. The opening work is nice, but really just anticipating doing this, trying to find cover as he'll compress. He'll make himself small, but trying to keep the weight forward on that nose rocker of the board to come out. Give it a good crack. And then once again, vaporizing the lip with the power. And then now we'll use this ramp. So just ducking with speed. Throwing that away into the wind. Stop 2 of the 2025 Championship Tour sees the world's foremost wave artists in the Middle East. Surf Abu Dhabi Pro. You're watching one of them right now. It's Yago Dora. Smooth as silk with the opening linkage from him. And then the hollow section here. Let's see how he approaches this. Getting multiple hits packed in as this thing will stretch out. Great amplitude to his surfing, just knifing through, vicious and precise with loads of intent. And again, just keeping that rhythm going as we'll just crack it multiple times now. He'll go on a speed run. And he'll get a rotation done on his backhand, land on the roof, and just not quite pull that down. So, at the end of that wave, not quite able to get the finish he was hoping for.
Yeah, I think the wave itself, up until that last air that he went for, I mean, he's trying to improve on a 4, right? And I think even maybe without that, the surfing was really critical. It was super tight in the pocket. And if I reflect on that 4, I think it maybe was better, but it seems like that last section is just so tricky to get that timing right for that air. I mean, let's have a look at what got done here. So he launches up into the air, gets a nice bit of rotation there, but just lands on top of it. And I heard Jesse Mendez talking about it before, but it almost, and I agree, it feels like the wave is sort of bending back at you a bit. It's got a funny little bowl there, and it...
In the 5s for his last couple of waves, and he needs to up the ante a bit. Dora in the lead with that 5-2 that just dropped in, so he's the surfer to catch at the moment. Can his compatriot Samuel Pupo do that? 6-6-4 is what he's looking for. Great backhand technique, gets really low down and just opens up, decompresses. And a nice twitch to the board as it stays dynamic and lively and coiled in the pit as he'll just sit there and enjoy the view, controlling the speed, getting everything in the face, and then straight up for multiple visitations into the lip, rapid fire stuff. And then again, looking to try and first of all go fast and then slow himself down and finds nice cover, does it well. And then he'll get a fin chuck finish as well, making sure he got that done. A really crucial end part of that wave, and he's feeling it.
Yeah, chasing that 6.64, and it put it all on line. For me, that was some of the best surfing I've seen from him. Really critical. And the one thing that impressed me the most was just those first 3 turns on more of a slopier section of the wave. He was really able to maximize, just really release those fins, created that coping, which he hit on that second turn. Made it super dynamic to watch, and he fitted in 4 turns before this barrel section, so that just gives you an indication of how fast he's surfing out there. You know, generally we're seeing 3, and then he's on this steeper section here and gets some more work done, really critical, releasing those fins, making it flare. And then right here, he actually does a bit of work inside this tube, which is incredibly hard to do. We saw him adjust his rail line, really difficult to do on such a tight tube, and finishes with a bit of progression. And let's have a look here. So really just flaring those fins, just perfect technique, really transferring that weight to the front of his board. But this little moment here, this is a tight little slabby tube. All the weight here towards the front of the board. But he actually maneuvers his board inside this barrel, which is really critical and really hard to do, really difficult. But And then a bit of progression here, a bit of fun. Pretty inverted little reverse there. Interested to see where this goes.
Just the whole ride had that feeling, that impression of flow throughout with comparison with a couple of his previous efforts. Some positive energy. Meanwhile, attentions will turn to the American Houshmand. His requirement, it's actually kind of similar. 6'5'4" is his number. We talked about his backhand weapons. He's got that kind of power slide approach to steep, smaller wave faces. It works so well for him. Just a little glimpse of it there. Bang again, just tagging this thing. Keeping the flow going throughout as well. Buckets of spray from Houshmand. And just tuning this thing up once again. Just tagging it, relentless really in his approach. Now things will get a little different. It will be a hollow tube section for him. Doesn't get completely covered up, but he'll ditch the fins out. But by virtue of the fact he got a little sticky, he won't go complete on the end flick.
He's not going to be complete on the end, but I mean, I saw shades of, you know, Bells Beach last year where he got his maiden victory win. I saw shades of what he got done at Winky Pop. Just that tradesman-like approach on the backhand, just so beautiful to watch. And I'm really interested to see where this is going to go. I mean, this is his strength, right? When I think of Cole, I think of textbook backhand surfing. And this is just a great demonstration of it. So sort of taking notes and adjusting his surfing. Okay, the right's not really barreling right now. It's a bit hard for me on this section. I'm a bigger guy. I'm going to go to turns and just really demonstrating just, yeah, great backhand surfing, one after another, string of beautifully done maneuvers. Gets a little bit of tube time here and tries to get a little bit of variety. Doesn't quite get the clean finish. So you always wonder, how does that sit in the judges' minds? But there was a lot of good work done before that.
Pushing real hard on the end just to try and put everything there, and you can just see that on his face. He just felt himself get a little stuck. He actually tried to finish this.
Best visibility, and it all came down to that first left if you just got that finish.
All right, well, that means Yago Dora is in first place as he'll go on his fourth and final wave. It will be a left, and it will be a little bit of a victory run really for him. He can just enjoy this first turn. It's pretty sick. There's that precision with the flare and the flow as well. Just super creative as he'll get himself really nice cover. Just the way he puts himself in was cool, and we've not seen loads of those. Just did not see that coming. No winding up from that, no backswing really into that alley-oop, and then just going again with the drift from the tail and that release. Now we'll get a bowl, now we'll get a launch. He'll go for a big ollie. That board will just flip over. So incomplete on the end. It was inconsequential in terms of a score because he's already gone through to the round of 16, but just saw glimpses there of the brilliance of Yago Dora.
We definitely did. I mean, that's the Yago that we're kind of expecting here. That's the expectation that he's sort of living up to, because we saw creativity there that we haven't seen yet. I mean, beautiful barrel riding here, but I mean, on a wave that moves this fast, who really is thinking about going to a layback? I mean, Yago literally went to a layback in the beginning stages of this wave, and even just to have the creativity to watch what we're witnessing here, like to go for that alley-oop on that midsection of that wave, just shows that he's drawing different lines. And for a wave that, you know, let's be honest, can sometimes be a bit repetitive, just to be able to show that creativity and bring something new to the board, I mean, it's awesome to watch, and it's a sign of good things to come.
Really nice in that slow-mo. You just see the way his board's cutting the water as well. The equipment looks so dialed in.
Oh, imagine if he'd made this.
Talking about confidence, I mean, surfing without pressure, 6'8" is a throwaway for him. Doesn't count. Would have been the requirement for each of his adversaries on their wave. Just goes to show when you just flow in, you're impressing. Dora will go through straight to the round of 16. We'll see Pupo and Houshmand.